All right, thank you for staying with us. It's still sports tonight, and I told you before we had the break that I'll be bringing in my guest, a man that wears a lot of caps and is with me on Sports Tonight right now. Bukola Olopade is my guest, and Bukola Olopade, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Always a pleasure to be in here.
I don't even know how to start now because you wear so many caps.
Start by teaching me the new diet that you are on, so that everybody can lose weight like you.
Okay, just present the show every day. All right, but let's start with your involvement with the Lagos City Marathon. Before I come to you, let's just allow you to see the Lagos State government, the plans for the second edition of the Lagos City Marathon that will be holding on the 11th of February 2017. Just sit back, and that was the press conference held a few days ago. We listened to some of the principal actors, and then we'll be back to talk about this and more on Sports Tonight.
As we do the countdown to this second edition, we're not going to change our winning team. It's the same team with the same command structure. But this time around, we intend to make it bigger, inject some fresh blood, so that we'll achieve our target of becoming one of the best 10 marathons in the world. I'm also excited that the Lagos City Marathon has encouraged a culture of running among Lagosians. I hope millions of others will join us in the coming months because of the enormous health benefits that come with running. For the 2017 edition, we intend to invite the top 10 men and women marathoners in the world. They'll be joined by many of our local runners and even our gold label and silver label runners that we believe strongly will add color to this second edition that we're trying to do.
Well, that's the sports-loving governor of Lagos State, Akinwumi Ambode, at the press briefing to announce the second edition of the Lagos City Marathon. And I have Bukola Olopade here, who is a big part of this project. He's actually the consultant to the Lagos City Marathon, and is here with us on Sports Tonight. But let's start with that briefing. The first edition was a success. Because that marathon, after the first edition, is now rated second best in Africa and in the top 70 in the world.
69th, actually.
In the world.
In the world.
That's huge.
In the world.
For a marathon that is just in the first edition. But what are we going to be expecting? The governor said there will be injection of new blood. We will try to do things, in a more dynamic way this year to enhance and build on the success of the first edition.
A lot of wisdom has been added to this year's edition. Not to say that for the first edition that we didn't do well, but this year promises to be a blast. Because, for example, for last year, you could have gone to some of the water stops to find a mini party going on there. This year, you find miniature carnivals at various water points and various gantries. More importantly is the fact that we are injecting top A-labeled runners from the world. At least 5 of the very best in the world will be running the marathon this year, male, female. Also, it's going to be a carnival-like situation at the finish gantry, where everybody, the governor himself has said he is going to be seated from about 7 a.m. in the morning till the last runner, that is about 7.5 hours, comes in. So for that period, what we're going to have is something similar to what we see at the London Marathon and the New York Marathon. So a lot of adjustments have been done to ensure that the world class that should be attached to this marathon is achieved. And we do deserve to have a world-class marathon in Lagos. Lagos is arguably the biggest mega city in the world. And for me, it is the hub for Nigeria economy, is the hub for sports in Nigeria. And to drive the economy at this time of this serious recession, this is a welcome idea.
We're told about 50,000 athletes are expected. Of course, some VIP athletes are going to be part of this.
Corporate, charitable.
Corporate, yeah, there are different courses for which people will run at this event. But does that bring a challenge? The size, managing that crowd, does that come with a challenge for you? That's the first one. And then the second one is, what are we going to be seeing? I mean, the first one was a huge success. It became the second best. What are we going to be seeing, and what is the intention of this marathon in a few years down the line? What's the projection? Number one in Africa, top 10 in the world. What's the projection like for you?
The projection, when we had a strategic meeting on how to bring marathon to Lagos, it was gingered by the campaign slogan of the governor himself, who said it was important to use sports to drive tourism and the economy of Lagos. So the vision ab initio was to create a tourism hub.
Using sports?
Using marathon. Because street running has become one of the best tools of showcasing your cities. London was voted the most beautiful city and the best city in the world just 2 weeks ago because of the London Marathon and other few things like that. So the vision ab initio was to create a tourism hub using sports. And I think that should remain the vision going forward. Of course, in terms of how big we want it to be, of course, we want it to be one of the best in the world. So the essence of going for these labeled athletes is because we want for next year to be able to get a bronze label from IAAF, and that automatically announces us to the world. I am very optimistic, and you know me, Tony, I'm a pathological optimist. I'm very optimistic that by this time next year, we will be talking about the bronze label for the world and the gold label for the Confederation of African Athletics. The team we have together today is a very solid team, headed by a very astute private sector person from Access Bank, if I must mention. The other beautiful thing about this year's zone is that, again, we have the private sector. We just heard the minister talking about his vision for sport in Nigeria, and he's absolutely correct. You know, when I was commissioner in Ogun State, under the leadership of my boss, it was mandatory that everything we did had to carry the support of the private sector. And to have Access Bank, 7-Up, KFA, Bet Niger, all to come on board this year is a far departure from what we had last year. Last year it was Access Bank driving it for us. This year now we have Access Bank as still the title sponsor, doing what they should do best by placing Lagos State on the world map.
Let me come to more technical issues now. There are a lot of marathons, there are a lot of road races now in Nigeria, very well organized. Okpakpa road race and Obudu mountain race, a lot of these things are there, very well organized, and they are becoming part of our life in Nigeria. But then I want to find out what impact is this having on our athletes. A lot of these competitions have been on for a long time. Nigerians don't end in the top 10 or the top 20. And for me, apart from just the tourism drive, and the commercial drive and the lifestyle, it's also the improvement of the Nigerian athletes so that we can use all of these competitions to also announce ourselves as a country with the pedigree in road races, mountain races, long distance races, marathon, for international competitions.
And I understand that, Tony, because I know you're a very aggressive, competitive person. Look, the young man that came first amongst Nigerians at the last marathon, he actually came, I think, 26th overall, but he was the first Nigerian to cross the tape. Came 10th at the world 50 kilometers run just 2 weeks ago. Prior to that, on the back of the Lagos City Marathon, he had gone to France for the Paris Marathon, where he came 30th. And for me, it only shows one thing, that because of the awareness that this Access Bank Lagos City Marathon is creating for our runners, more and more runners are beginning to believe in themselves that a Nigerian just might win the $50,000 first prize. Look at Sarah from Ikorodu, came first at a very young age, the first Nigerian to cross the line. You know, talking to her recently, she believes strongly that she may just come between the brackets of the dollar prizes, which is 1st to 10th. So I agree with you that whilst we are doing this, we should also use it as a platform of encouraging our domestic runners on long distance running. If we have Ethiopians and Kenyans and South Africans winning the sprints and the quarter mile race now, then Nigeria should be able, I mean, the AFN should work harder to ensure that we're able to churn out long distance runners who can challenge the world. And I believe this Lagos City Marathon is actually the platform from which to launch that. But you see, the brilliant thing about road races and marathons is that it goes towards lifestyle. Like the governor aptly put it at the press conference, it is about ensuring that people are more aware of charities such as autism, such as multiple sclerosis. People use marathon to support these charities across board, orphanages of all sorts. You can only do that if you understand the importance of marathon as a lifestyle that touches virtually every aspect of our well-being.
All right, and of course you can see those pictures from the last edition, that is not just running, you run for a cause, you run to create awareness about something in the society. I mean,
exactly. And this year, Toyi, the special people, my babies, have been captured. We have their own prize too, and we're expecting some top runners, top wheelchair runners
to get involved as
well. To get involved from the world.
That's really encouraging. But let's and this event is taking place February 11, 2017. I'm sure that before February 11, 2017, we'll still talk more about it as we build up.
And people should not, please do not put your wedding date on that day.
All right, make it a running day. All right, so but I'm sure that as we build up to February 11, we'll still get you to come on the show.
Thank you, Tony.
And talk about it some more. But let's wrap up very quickly before we go on a break.